Hi, Lisa. Lisa. Lisa, why are you waving at me? You should be on the live. Where is Lisa? Sherwin, what's up, man? How are you? Why is Lisa? Where is Lisa? I'm just trying to figure out. Bro, what's up? How are you? Okay. Guys, just bear with me until I get Lisa on. For some reason, I can't seem to get her on. I'm not sure why. I just spoke to her a while back. Okay. Lisa, I sent you another invite. You want some watermelons? Madam, I wish I could give you. Sadly, I have none of them. Double D's, what's up? Okay. Lise, for some reason, I have you on this account, but you don't seem to be joining in. Do you want to maybe accept the invite that I just sent across? So sorry, guys, just getting some technical glitches here. Hi, Ruth. How are you? Just a minute. Just give us 2 minutes since I just get this thing sorted. Okay, guys, I'm just going to reschedule this thing. I'm just going to call back Lisa again. Seems like there's an interruption in the connection from her end for some reason.
Okay. Okay.
It's working, right?
Yeah, it's working. For some reason, I wasn't able to get you previously. Not sure why.
So I think it was because my app was not updated. So that's my bad. I just did it.
Okay. It's an iPhone,
Listen,
right?
I just didn't want the raise button in the center. I didn't want to deal with that. So
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
So I see a lot of guys over here, and it's really good to have all you guys. Uh,
Sorry, I'm really
I
blown
think
out.
I think there will be a lot more coming in, and we'll wait for everyone to join. But just so you know, what we're going to be speaking about right here is going to be a very casual conversation between Lisa and me. Just so that you guys know, Lisa is my best friend, and we pretty much speak about everything under the sun. So I we basically are just initiating some sort of a conversation wherein you get to know the perspective of the feminine side and the girls get the perspective of the masculine side. Because I'll be talking on behalf of men, although I have spoken to guys before actually coming live. So I have an idea of what men sort of are looking for in friendship per se. And the same is with Lisa. So we both will be sharing our insights wherein this topic is concerned. Just so you know, I do not think I can access. Can I access the DMs? 1 second. Oh no. Okay. So if you
Hi, Craig.
okay, so what we will be doing is we will be turning off any of the comments for the time being. If you have any of the questions that you sort of want to ask us, you can go ahead, and when the comments section do come on, you can go ahead and actually begin asking questions to us. Does that sound fine to all you guys? I'm assuming
It's
that
too
it's
late.
fine.
I don't think they have an opinion right now.
Okay. Okay. So we'll start with the entire conversation about women versus men. Although it's portrayed like that, it's more like we can't do without each other. So I'm just going to go and switch commenting off for the time being. Okay. So
I just want to
it's
say
good to
one
see all you
thing,
guys.
that this is
Yep.
coming from just our opinion. I'm just offering my perspective, and definitely there are people who are just going to have a different opinion than me and disagree. And you can feel free to disagree and just let us know in our DMs. We are listening, and yeah, that's all. I just want to give a disclaimer that none of this is fact or based off of any science. It's just my experience that I'm talking from, and my perspective that I've got also from speaking to my other girlfriends. So that's it. Go ahead, Vinay.
Yeah, I mean, what Lisa's just spoken about, we all have our own unique perspectives when it comes to interactions with the opposite sex. And it's mostly due to our sort of experiences that we begin to form this sort of heuristic, which is basically a mental map of dealing with the individual. So say, for example, what do I mean by heuristic is, say, for example, if I am a girl, okay, and if I were to ever approach, or if a guy were to ever approach me and he starts off by saying, hey, beautiful. And I know for the fact that the first guy that I met and the second guy that I met and the third guy that I met, maybe they were just friends, or they were more than just friends, and they happen to be very toxic individuals. We then begin to assign this sort of the approach as a very toxic approach, saying that the first guy that I met started off with hey beautiful, second guy hey beautiful, and they didn't end up well. So this guy, the third guy who happens to come to me, also starts off with a hey beautiful, and I automatically assume that this person is also toxic, although he might not be. So that's a bit of a mental map that what I'm trying to portray over here. It's known as a heuristic. These are these mental shortcuts that we begin to develop once we undergo life based on our experiences. So I think we have broken down as per the poster and the description of the post in terms of what we would be touching upon. And if I were to look at it, or if we both, when we were talking about were to look at it, was preferences between us in terms of a man and a lady, in terms of the communication, in terms of friendship, and in terms of attractiveness. So these are the broad perspectives that we would be touching upon during the entire live session that we are currently holding. While attraction is just a feeling, there's no logic involved where attraction is concerned. There are a bit of the other factors behind that. So I think the first thing I would actually ask Lisa is, what do you think, or according to you, what do women really like in a man, wherein preferences are concerned? What do you actually prefer? What is the thing that actually, that you approach a man and say, okay, maybe I think I see a friend in you, or maybe I'm attracted to you. What is it that you can possibly think of?
Like if I'm making the first move, speaking to someone?
Yeah, just talking to someone casually.
I think in that case, I would say body language and how he's presenting himself.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to give like an exact cue for it, but I will pay attention to what he's saying, obviously, in a conversation. Say if you're in a group, and how he's reacting to something, and seeing if I can find some common ground with him to start a conversation. So it will mostly depend on that, I would say.
Okay. I think from a masculine perspective, where just preferences are concerned, I would personally break them down into physical, into personality, and into linguistic capabilities. Now, what do I mean by each of these? The first would be personality, of course. Personality is something that I would actually, one second, I think I've got someone asking. Stanford bro, I'm going to smile for you. Thank you for the comment. You guys can actually request for comments. So I'm getting a notification from Stanford saying that he messaged me, and I get a notification. So you can text me whenever you feel like. So thank you, Stanford. I'll smile for you. That's for you. Okay. So then I break them down into these particular domains of physical, linguistic capabilities, and personality. Personality is something that stands out foremost as a guy, although I think as per my conversations with girls, they wouldn't agree that personality is something that guys look for. But in the long haul or as friends, we do look for personality. We look for personality because we all prefer someone, irrespective of the gender, someone who is open and someone who is friendly. Because in doing so, then we can possibly strike a conversation and communicate and actually get to know the other person. If a person's cold, that obviously shows that the person's not interested in communicating to you, and neither are they interested in proceeding any further. So that's your direct cue. It does not mean that you should be trying too hard and trying to get to know the person by doing everything possible in your sort of jurisdiction. Just try and speak with the person. As simple as that. So I think as a guy, that's one thing that we actually look for is personality. But if I go again into the crux of it, we often tend to like women from a relationship perspective. It depends solely on it's solely on the kind of women. So you've got women that are assertive, opinionated, and dominant, and you've got women that are shy and dependent, and both of which are fine. If you belong to either of these, you will be, I mean, you will be attractive to some sort of a man. And it's the reason I say it is because if you actually look into the psychology of it, and I have been doing a lot of reading where this is concerned, we tend to subconsciously like our mothers. So if you come from a mother who is very dominating, then you tend to prefer to like a lady who is dominating. And if you tend to come from a mother who is dependent, you basically try to move towards that direction of a lady who is dependent. It's very subconscious, so you're not really aware of it. But a man or a lady who is conscious of this particular trait will also take this into consideration. And this is something that you should also reflect on wherein relationships are concerned. But I won't talk too much about relationships, although a part of it I might just go into it. The next week we'll have a topic solely for relationships, and we'll have another couple of the millennial origin actually speak to you about it. So this is my opinion wherein the personality is concerned. Now you speak about physicality, and I think there's a general notion that men are visual beings, and I do agree that men are visual beings. I think the same applies to women. I think we've been discussing on that.
Yeah, I've discussed that with you, and I've told you that it's very unfair that people say men are visual creatures, but even women are. Like, we also do give importance to looks, maybe, but although I'd say women in society, we are also told that we have to value personality and other things way more. Like, oh, how rich he is, like, how well is he doing, how well settled he is, and how loyal he is, and things like that. But for guys, whenever they talk about, liking a girl, seeing someone that they like, the first question that everyone will ask is, how hot is she?
Yeah.
It's the first question that everyone's going to ask you.
You're right.
Like, among us girls, our first question will be like, okay, what does he look like? And then the main thing we want to do is we want to do like a background search and find out what kind of a guy is he. Like, is my friend getting into something really problematic with this dude or what?
Okay.
So with a guy, it's very different. But also like I was saying, with physical attraction, I also want to say that women do care about it. It's not just a male thing, and it's okay for women to also have physical preferences. And I'm not talking about like bigoted preferences. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chauvin just asked me a question. Sorry about that, but Chauvin just asked me a question. What do you think is more important, looks or personality? Bro, like if you're asking me,
from a girl's point of view,
I think it's for both. Is it for both, Chauvin, or is it for girls only? Anyways, we'll answer for both. According to you, looks is important or personality from a lady's perspective?
See, obviously, I do want an attractive partner. And that depends from person to person what they consider attractive. Because I know that a lot of girls will say that, oh my God, this guy is so cute. And then when we show other people, they're just like, what? He's nothing that great.
Correct.
And I think, at least from me, I'd say on a very basic level, I just, be looking at, oh, how well groomed is he? Because I hate to say it, but there are a lot of guys who don't even take like basic hygiene seriously. Like, unkempt hair, like dirty clothes and stuff like that. And it's really obvious and visible,
Yeah.
So when I say looks, I mean on that level. And I do want to say that not all girls care about a six-pack and things like that. I'm not saying not talking about superficial shit like that, because I know a lot of guys think that, oh, I need to build a body to attract a girl. But that's not necessarily true. You can just be the way you are, just be well groomed, and good body language is important. And obviously, then, like, if you approach someone, they'll be open to talking to you, you know, and personality then does play a role. Like, I will say one thing because I've gone through it myself multiple times. Negging is not okay. Like, I do not like that at all. Like, when guys talk to you in a very condescending tone, they try to get to know you, and then they cross question you in a way and try to like poke holes in what you're saying and trying to demean you in a very weird way, but also compliment you in order to seek your approval, in order to seek their approval.
Okay.
And a lot of guys tend to adopt this tactic for some reason, which I do not understand who told you all that this is a good way to approach people, but it's not, because it's just you're starting off on a very toxic note with someone, which doesn't really end well, in my opinion.
That's
So-
a really good insight. I'm sure that all of us guys that are tuned in are definitely paying attention, and I see a lot of guys already tuning in. So that's really good. Thanks, Lee, for this. I don't think a lot of us were aware of this aspect of it as to how you actually speak where this is concerned. And I think physicality is a trait that even we as guys look for. I think it's mutual where that is concerned, and I think it's mostly involved, as you mentioned, with hygiene. I think basic upkeep of yourself is some sort of a window as to who or what kind of a personality that you might be. And I think that's just the general basic in terms of the manner in which you take care of yourself. And then looking at that, I can possibly gauge in terms of what we could be as friends, or maybe even further. I think that's just the basic of it. Although looks are not entirely what both of the sexes look for when friendships are concerned, or even a relationship. It is a part of it. It is attractive, no doubt about it. But it is not everything. And beauty and being handsome is subjective from person to person. If, as Lisa mentioned, that what one guy might find attractive or what one girl might find attractive is not the same across the board. People have their own individual preferences, and it changes. The other thing that I think that we look for when a girl is concerned as a guy is linguistic capabilities. Now, what I would possibly touch upon is a guy with intellect would probably go for a girl that can speak well, so that they are on the same wavelength and they can communicate more fluidly. It's easier for them to sort of get each other wherein communication is concerned. But again, that's not everything that a guy looks for. Mostly, we as guys don't really go for women that can actually communicate entirely well. It depends on which part of the world that you're from, your cultural aspects. But this is something that if you look at guys that may possess intellect, they do look for a lady that can actually communicate well to them. And it is a very attractive trait, either as a friend or in a relationship.
I don't know if so the thing is, I have noticed with guys, like the whole personality thing, they all say that, but you'll also see like a lot of dudes who are in very toxic relationships, but because the girl is like attractive as per society standards, if you will, okay, they just stick around to those things. Like they put so much importance in a girl's looks that even we don't know what to think about what y'all want. And even like I've heard this from my friends who go on dates and stuff like that, or are on are on dating apps, and they're trying to like, get to know people and stuff like that. Guys are very into knowing what you look like, and like, that is like one of their main things that they're concerned about. So as much as like, we hear that, of course personality matters, and of course it does. I'm not going to say that, no, but a vast majority of men place so much of an importance on it that it really affects the way women then deal with these things and how they view themselves and how they view relationships as well. Like it's quite off-putting when we find out that a guy is just like, interested in us because he only thinks we're attractive. Like, what else do you like about me? Because in the long run, let's face it, you're not going to look this way all the time.
True.
Like, okay, you're dressed up on a certain day, but you're not always going to be dressed up. You're going to have off days. I'm not even talking about you growing older and, losing your youth, but I'm talking about you just having an off day. You could just be sick. You could just be out of it. You don't want to like get dolled up or whatever it might be. And then what? Like, I know that there are some guys who actually get affected by these things. Like, oh, she's suddenly not putting in the effort now. Or like, I don't know, with quarantine, weight gain has happened for a lot of people.
She's become comfortable with me, and it doesn't seem like
she slipped up, now she's comfortable. She's just kicked back and she's like,
So I just need to like do something, maybe talk to another girl so that she is on her toes and she's aware that, okay, there are possibilities for me. I do understand like these, as guys, we do employ tactics such as this, but I think it's subjective from individual to individual. And what you're saying does make sense completely. Wherein the general chat of a guy is that if I were to ever get with someone, either as a friend or if I come across a really cute girl, the general notion is that I'll take a picture of her and show it to my other guy friends and sort of seek validation from the other guy friends because that's what most of the
Yeah,
guys do.
exactly, right. And I've been in
That's
guy
that's
circles where they're talking about these things and talking about women in general, and the main thing that they're focusing on is how she looks. Whereas
exactly.
us girls, like I told you, the moment you tell your friends, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, what's his name?" You know. And the moment you find out his name, they're sitting and doing background research on social media.
Correct.
It's not even
Correct.
about his looks. We'll go and see, oh, like how many girls has he taken pictures with? Who's this chick? Who's that chick? Like, you know, what's his relationship with these people? Why is he commenting on this kind of stuff? And you know, oh, what are his views on things? You know,
Mm-hmm.
XYZ. We really dig into those things. Whereas
I
I
think
don't know if guys do that.
usually with guys we do the same thing, but it's not to that extent. We usually go through your profile in terms of your Instagram or your Facebook, and we actually look at the pictures. Do they look good? Do
Yeah,
they
you're
not look
just
good?
looking at pictures just to see, oh, like,
Exactly. It's basically something like of a Tinder thing, but you can't swipe. You're just swiping to see what exactly is happening in terms of the picture. That's it. Like
yeah.
nothing to be done as such.
Or just to see if
Yeah.
if I'm getting catfished, you know, like I've had some guys asking me for my, like, you know, Instagram and Facebook
Mm-hmm.
because they're not sure if it's a real profile or not.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
want to just check. They're just like, oh, like, you know, we get catfished so much that we just need to know if this is like a real
I'll tell
girl that we're talking to.
you just mentioned that as girls you possibly move onto a guy's profile and sort of sift through whatever they're doing in terms of their pictures, and then you draw like a parallel and think, okay, that maybe this guy is, say for example, if he's with girls or if he is with family, then you draw a conclusion family oriented with girls and maybe he's got other options available. I'm just like trying to think, trying to voice out my opinion here, voice out what's happening in my head. What happens is then you basically draw an entire character of this person, and no doubt it is right, of this
Yeah.
person, and it depends again from girl to girl because I do speak with a lot. It depends in terms of each lady how rigid these character presets of guys are in their head. So if I were a guy, or if I was a guy, I am a guy. If I if I were to actually speak with a girl, I were to
Yeah.
actually speak with a girl where this is concerned. Moment. Ruth has said to save this live. Ruth, yes, we will definitely save this live.
Sorry,
If I
what?
were to speak, no, Ruth has just told me to save the live. This live will definitely get saved.
Oh, okay.
I'll publish it also. So if I were to speak with a girl, and if I were to talk about myself or talk about things that I like, oftentimes you'll have the girl already having the answers. If I were to speak something against what she's already seen, she'll obviously come up with an answer to it. Although I won't be able to put my views forward because she already knows what I'm going to say. And this is what happens, that there can be a bit of a friction here because this is what I have experienced a couple of times. When you're trying to be honest and trying to put forward your message across, but the girl,
Yeah.
she knows already more than you. So the question then applies: why do I ask you a question? Because you already know
Because
it.
what happens is, at least from what I have seen, that guys will make up weird explanations for things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
weird justifications for shitty behavior and things that they do. You might be honest, but a lot of other guys are not. They try
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, twist the truth or trickle truth, as they call it. Like they don't give you the full picture behind something.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when you've been burnt multiple times before by multiple guys like this, and then felt like you've been gaslit when you ask them these questions, then you just don't know what to believe also. And a lot of guys, I'd say, would probably do stuff like this out of immaturity when they're super young. But then also these
True.
behaviors start shaping your adulthood, unfortunately. So today, when maybe you've grown out of these, whatever these tactics or whatever you want to call them, the thing is, we are so set in our ways, you know, that your walls are so high now, and you don't want to end up wasting your time and wasting your energy and feeling betrayed after spending all that time and energy trying to get to know someone. Like
Okay.
you don't want to feel like, you know, I was such a fool by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
What was I thinking? Because a lot of the times, whether you like it or not, these patterns do hold true.
Okay.
You will end up feeling like, you know, I should have trusted my gut. All of it was right there. How did I not see it?
But then there is some sort of a risk element with every friendship and relationship because nothing is ever certain. Like the only thing constant is uncertainty. So if you are to go into every relationship with this sort of a mindset that maybe this guy is up and he's trying to do something bad to me, with that sort of a mindset with every guy that you
Yeah.
meet, how do we as men who are honest or those that are not, I mean, those that are not will obviously find a way. There are men who are also honest. I'm talking on behalf of both because I'll speak of the ones who are not honest also. But for the time being, the ones that are honest, how do men such as these approach lady then?
I mean, I guess you'd have to give it time and assure them and show them through your actions more than your words that you genuinely see a connection here and you'd want to make it work. And try
Okay.
to understand where they're coming from. I think the problem is a lot of guys are just so pushy because they just know that I'm not that type, but it's really hard to, make someone believe you. Like, just imagine if you, like, what kind of an example can I give you? If you walk down a certain road and you've been stabbed over there, you will never want to go down that path again, right?
True.
It's
True.
going to take some level of, you'll have to work on it in order to get over that fear that, oh, you could get stabbed again and whatnot. And you have to understand with the relationship, what happens is you are bearing your soul out completely. You're trying to be, not trying to be, you end up becoming really vulnerable. And when someone destroys you mentally, it's really hard to do that work to undo all of that damage as well, which I think a lot of people don't realize. You don't fully process it, and like when you come out of a toxic relationship, you don't fully understand what damage it has done to you.
Okay.
And now the
Yeah.
work that you have to sit and undo, like to undo all of that damage and understand what really happened. Because of course these experiences scar you, right? Your experiences shape you. I don't want to say scar you, but shape you. So
True.
you obviously are going to tread with caution, because also as women, then when we do give a chance to someone and then we do end up getting burned, people will just come and tell you, oh, like, I told you so, or how did you not see it, or this and that, how could you be so naive, how could you be so stupid? And
Okay.
I've heard my guy friends say stuff like this. So I'm just like, if y'all are saying it about your own gender, then how do you expect us to feel any better about it? To understand and to know.
Okay.
Because so many
Chauvin
guys
posed a
like,
very good question. He's like,
all right.
Chauvin just asked me, as a girl, how long do you think you should know a guy before you want to date him? That's a good question, Chauvin.
See, it's a very subjective thing. I'd like to give you like a certain timeline, but honestly, that's not a fair answer to give.
True.
Like, you'd have to gauge based on the situation, sadly. Like, there's no fixed answer for this. Like, you
Okay.
have to, communication is important. Like I've always told you, and like, communicating and explaining to that person how you feel and being honest about your feelings, and say maybe this waiting game is like taking really long. You can just express that to the person.
Correct.
Why not? If the person
Correct.
is good for you, maybe they'll be understanding about it, and also understand that, it's not fair to keep someone hanging.
True. I think
Like,
communication is a part of what we were anyway going to speak about, and where
yeah,
communication is concerned, I think guys also have encountered this issue. So you've got one side wherein there are guys that are, as you mentioned, who are good looking, and maybe the effort that they put in trying to attract a girl might not be as those uh, that are not as attractive, if I may put it that way. There are instances wherein a guy would actually have to take the effort, a lot more effort, in trying to actually attract a female. And in doing so, what happens is the girl just tends to play hard to get. These, like I'm going to talk on both sides. So you've got one sections or one sect of guys wherein we will be very interested in you for the start.
yeah,
We'll be the best thing you could ever think of. We'll basically say whatever is quoted in your
everything we want to hear.
exactly. Right from
Yeah,
your parents to your family, we know exactly what to say. And in doing so,
yeah,
we've got your attention, and maybe you might have had an attraction to us, and we are aware of that. And we capitalize on that particular aspect, and we go further into the relationship. Now, at the back of our head, just so that the girls also know, we do know that you're attracted to us. So we are
yeah,
aware of what we are doing to you, but we know the moment you invest your emotions into us, you will stay for
Then
the
they
long
pull
haul.
out of it, you know?
Exactly. And I know then
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
basically acting like I'm putting all my effort into you, although I am not. I'm just putting
yeah,
the effort required for me to attract you. And the moment I know I get your emotions involved, I can pull out or I can put back in whenever I want because I know for a fact that you are attracted to me more than I'm
yeah.
attracted to you. You've got one section of guys that sort of manipulate you, if I may put it that way, manipulate a girl into trying to say that, hey, like this is what I can possibly do and this is how I can attract you. And the other side of guys who play the hard to get game with the girl. When the girl's playing hard to get and this guy is putting in the effort to this girl trying to get his best side out and trying to attract her, right? From buying her the best possible gifts, right, to calling her, sending her long text messages, commenting on each of her Instagram, wherever she is on Instagram, they
Yeah.
basically put in so much of an effort.
Just
Now,
really being there for the girl.
exactly. So that these are things that I think as guys we possibly speak about, and some of us don't really speak about these things. I think the
Yeah.
reason we thought of even going live is because there was some sort of an asymmetry wherein these things are concerned. Thought we can just voice it out to the general public in terms of maybe we can learn. I've learned a lot from you, but this is concerned from the feminine
Yeah.
side, and I think there are a lot of other girlfriends. So I feel it's impossible for me to actually understand that aspect from a lady's perspective if it weren't communicating, like if you were not talking to each other. Uh, so going back to the perspective change of guys, wherein one manipulate you and one play the hard to get game, and they actually
Yeah.
invest a lot of their money and their emotions and their time into one particular girl. The problem then arises is when a guy does all of this, the first thing that he questions, and I think there's a lot of questions related to this, is that uh, what do I need to do to attract her?
I would just say that, see, honestly, if you're in something like that, first figure out, is she playing hard to get because she can't trust you fully? Like she's a good person, but you know, she's been hurt in the past and stuff like that, and just needs her time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or is she somebody who's enjoying the attention and she's just using you? You need to have an honest conversation with yourself and just be really rational. And as hurtful as it might be, if she's the latter, like she's just taking advantage of you, walk away. It sucks. I know we've all been there. We've all been there. But it's better
Yeah,
to walk away now than to waste even more time down the line. Because at first, yeah, of course, you'll be offended. You'll be like, you know, really upset about it. But imagine like the sooner you get done with it, the sooner you can get over it as well.
true. I,
So
I, to those readers out there who are into reading books, there's this particular book called Influence by Robert P. Cialdini, and over there, it's a psychological aspect wherein you subconsciously tend to like things that you put in more effort towards. So if you are
yeah,
putting a lot of effort towards your work, towards your relationships, you will tend to like these things more, even though they are not good for you. So this is something that you should
yeah.
consider and reevaluate wherein your relationships and everything in your life is concerned. So
Yeah, because
try
I
to
mean,
understand
people
that
always
aspect.
preach that, you know, oh, you should give without the expectation of receiving and whatnot. But how low is the bar really for people? If you
Mm-hmm.
are honestly going to be in a relationship, it's going to be a two-way street, right? You can't just be giving and giving and giving without receiving something in return. That it's not fair to any party. Like if it's a girl doing it or a guy doing it also, it's not fair to men either. That and I'd say also for women, if you've been burnt before and whatnot, you have to do your work and get over something, or at least be honest with the guy and tell him that you need your space and you need your time, because you can't be stringing along someone else for the damage that you've gone through. It's not fair that they have to now clean up that mess and come and carry all that baggage with you and have to deal with all of the that emotional roller coaster. You can't drag them through that. They
Mm-hmm.
can be there for you and understand you, but you can't like use them to heal yourself and then realize that, oh, this is not really working out. Like I just needed you as a stepping stone to get over it. That's not fair to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
think it's important for us as guys also to know this, wherein you'll have women who are genuinely require the time, and
yeah.
they will give you signals in terms of they really want to stay for the long haul, either as friends or as more than friends. But it
Hmm.
depends if you can dedicate that time to them. If you can't, it is also fine. You need to communicate that you can't dedicate that much of time, and you're looking for something else. Now, then
Yeah,
I think we
like the
were
problem, like I've told you, Vinay, is also that guys, like I've told you, we know that they just lie a lot. They pretend
Mhm.
like, you know, say whatever you might be in it for. Like if you just want something physical or like you just want a fling, and that's okay. but you need to communicate that. Don't pretend like you like me more than that, and you want to see me beyond that, and you want to get to know me and all of that, which so many guys do.
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment you start giving them attention, then they just pull out of it. That's a very big fear that girls have, that the moment I start giving him, like, I commit to this, or, whatever it might be, then he's not going to be interested in me anymore. And that's also the narrative we've been fed. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure what to say about that. But like, I'm just giving you the perspective, like what we've heard growing up.
Mm-hmm.
That, oh, men will just do all of this to get into your pants and then he's going to leave you. Which has happened also. The problem is there is some truth to it as well.
Okay.
So,
I think that this is concerned wherein you need to. So as a guy, I think we know for a fact that we need to speak what you like in order for us to get what we want. It comes down to that.
Yeah.
So if we are not taking the effort to understand who you are as an individual and what you like, that shows like less of an effort from our end itself. So there are different ways. Now you mentioned that it takes time. Based on my communications learned.
Sorry, I just want to say this one thing, that even if, say, you're in it only for like a short fling or whatever it might be, like I said before, that is completely okay. But communicate that, and if the other person is looking for more, respect their decision and drop it. Don't try to persuade them into giving you what you want, which is really selfish. Like convincing them that, oh, like whatever, like let's go on a date, and then before you know it, you've manipulated them into doing stuff for you and whatnot, and then you've dropped them. That's not fair. Like, just respect the other person's decision, that they like you, they want more, but that's not what you're looking for, and you walk away, because there will be somebody else out there who's looking for exactly what it is that you are looking for.
Good. That's a good insight for us men to look at. I think we sort of we read between the lines, because as you mentioned, we reference a lot back to our past, and it's never so easy. At least we don't want to just communicate to girls that, hey, like, they're in it for the physical aspect only, and we don't really want to know you as a friend or as an individual. We take the longer route.
Yeah, they think it's about chasing, and they think it's about just convincing her. Like, you just have to be persistent, and then she will eventually turn around and change her mind.
Yeah, I think this is also an aspect that I think we've communicated on, that even girls can also portray in terms of first emotionally getting you invested and then later on pulling out with, because then they have other multiple suitors. So it's more like, how are you going to be different from the guys that are out there? And it's a constant chase game, which is mentally draining.
If someone's making you chase them or whatever, and if you get, like I said, if you realize that this is like a toxic chase, it's just like an ego boost for them. Walk out of it, drop it. Like, it makes no sense for you. It's not good for your mental health also. Because let's face it, you end up, how would you be accepting of a person's present or walk out?
Sorry, would you be accepting of a person's present or walk out? Okay, so I think what Ruth is trying to say is that how do you accept someone who basically narrates a really good story, saying that they were really hurt in the past, and now that is what I think, is that what you mean, Ruth? I'm just gonna like.
Yeah, like I need to know what exactly you mean by that.
Yeah, what do you mean by this? I'm not too sure of what this question does mean. If you can just retype that. Okay.
Or just elaborate a little bit on that.
We'll wait for Ruth to just explain that a bit. But you were saying that it's toxic in terms of. Sorry.
Okay.
It's toxic to chase someone like that. It's a never-ending chase.
For an ego boost.
Exactly. Coming back.
That's what, like.
Yeah. Coming back to communication, because I think we are now straying more towards relationships, and although it is a very integral part, I think we want to even shed light upon friendships. So wherein a girl is looking for a friend, I don't think there is a particular way to communicate to a girl who is your friend. I don't think we've ever communicated in terms of brackets. Like, there is a certain set algorithm in place saying that you need to talk X, Y, Z, and only then will a girl speak with you. I think at the end of the day, it's more of you as a girl or a guy having the knowledge to talk about interests that excite the two of you or passions that you all both share in common. I think for us it's more of photography and psychology and various other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we share a common passion or interest in things like this, and we do our best to try and learn about things like these. We basically speak and we share the knowledge that we obtain from our various sources. There is no XYZ when it comes to actually speaking with a girl. I think women in general are willing to speak with anyone, and I think the same goes with guys, wherein we can actually speak about anything. But the question does arise in terms of how do I know that this guy is or this girl is trying to talk to me as a friendly manner, or is there something more? So if that were put into context, I think that's wherein most of the guys or girls sort of get astray, wherein we can't really figure out what exactly we can't basically read the cues.
See, it'll depend on her attraction towards you also and what she's looking for in that moment. And like I've always told you, the main thing is communication because you can't sit guessing and thinking of cues or what does this mean. Like maybe you could just drop a few hints and see how she's responding to it.
Mhm.
And maybe then eventually ask her out or something and see how she's responding to it then. Like I've had guys upfront tell me that, oh, I really like you and I, like to see where this goes and stuff like that. And I'm actually happy with the honesty because if I'm not looking for something, I don't want to feel like I'm leading you on either. Because even I'm not sure what the guy is looking for. And it's completely okay if you were expecting more. Like I'm not going to shame you for it and be like, oh my God, all men are such pigs and that's all they want. Guys find it hard to...
Very good question, Hiba.
There you go. Yeah.
Why is it that guys find it hard to open up emotionally? Very good question. Now there are various ways, there are different answers that I can possibly give you where this is concerned. One thing is you do have guys that can open up to you emotionally, but what happens is it depends on what our past is. If you've got a guy who has basically been hurt romantically with a girl, then they find it a little too hard trying to open up emotionally to you. It will take us a bit of a time to actually try and gain our trust in you before we can actually begin to open up, because when we did, it sort of backfired on us. That's one aspect. Secondly, you'll find guys that are not, they don't want to communicate emotions to you. The reason being they know that if we start begin to communicate emotions, then we will emotionally be invested in you, which means you will have power over us. So we will not try and communicate our emotions because then it would mean you have the power over us. That's the second aspect. Third, you also have guys that will not want to communicate to you irrespective. They basically have emotions, but they keep it to themselves. They don't want to be friends with you. They're looking for something else. So you'll find them not being communicative at all to you. But all in all, what I would also ask you as an individual, because I found this pattern with me when I was back in school, is that I would have women that would I would actually speak with, and they might seem good, but when you actually go to see, you are basically attracted to people that don't show you attention. So at the back of your head, although you have people that you might be attracting who are willing to know you for the individual that you are, you as an individual are not interested in such people because it seems to be, and you want a bit of a challenge, which is why you begin to pursue men that are emotionally distant. So there is this bit of something that I've been reading on in trying to change the other person. So you go into this hero mode. And again, if you ever try and ignite this hero mode in a man will think he likes you, although he does not. So what happens is if you try and give more dominance and power, the trick, I shouldn't be saying this, but it's a trick. If you actually try and give a man more dominance and more power, he thinks you like him, or he will feel empowered to be around you. And that's where it can click for the guy to actually like you. I shouldn't have told this, but sadly I've been doing a lot of study. This is something that has actually come across, the hero mode.
Can it also be a case of like, say a guy is just, he doesn't want to talk to you about his emotions. Like he does have friends and everything. He just doesn't see you as somebody who he can talk to for whatever reason. Maybe that you just can't empathize with him or like sympathize, whichever. Because see, like I'll say even for me, I don't always talk to everybody about my emotions or whatever I'm going through because it's just, I'm not either comfortable, we are just not on the same wavelength, or like, you know, they always end up giving some shitty advice that I can't really. deal with?
I think it's see, when it comes to emotions, you do need to show some sort of a better reflection in terms of at least trying to empathize with me. But sometimes
Yeah.
you do need to understand that sometimes you do need a pat on the back saying that, hey, I think you're wrong over here. So it depends from
Yeah,
a
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
perspective.
Of course. I'm not saying that I'm not open to criticism, but
Yeah,
it's just like,
it's
they
subjective, as you
just don't
mentioned,
get it.
subjective to the guy. So if the guy, if you know if he's a mature sort of a man and he can rationalize in terms of what he's currently undergoing, then it's fine. Like
Yeah.
he will actually open up to you. But maybe like I said, give us some time. If the guy is a good guy in terms of you'll know as to what sort of what your intuition speaks about him and what you have known across time with him, we will eventually open up. Just give us some time. But if the individual is showing absolutely no signs, then there are chances that he's emotionally distant, and you could stay with him and see if he actually tries and opens up eventually. But it's your call again. It's something that some guys will take years and years to actually open up. If you're willing to,
Yeah, and like you need to make a decision if you want to actually sit around and wait for him to open up. Like at
exactly.
some point, if you're looking to pursue a relationship, you don't want to be with a man child, because these people more often than not don't know how to deal with their emotions.
I think the trick with
Sorry.
most men is an ultimatum. Say that I I would want to talk about emotions or else. You hit the
But
or else and then begin to open up. There are
the
sadly
thing
this,
is, ultimatums, what happens is for us women, at least from my experience, we've been taught that it starts looking really controlling. Oh, she's this crazy psycho. She keeps giving me ultimatums, and it's always, or else, or else. Like if you don't do this thing that I want you to do, you know, you're going to be in trouble. And then that you go down a dark path doing that also. I don't know if that is something, if you're comfortable doing that, then okay. But if that is
if
not something that is,
you're doing repeatedly, that's a red flag right
yeah,
there.
like for me personally, I don't like doing that to people. Okay. Not to like, it's my thing. I don't like to do that. So I would not want to do something that's out of character, because
Correct.
then it's just like I'm just not being myself anymore.
If you actually want the guy to budge, that would be my advice. Try to save the orals. It's not a good thing to do in the long run, but if you actually want him to speak, that's one of the ways to actually make him speak. That's the only advice I could possibly give where guys are concerned. Uh, Omar, Ruth, I don't know. Ruth just said that the question's too long. Okay. Questions in your inbox. For some reason, I can't really access my inbox. I'm not sure if Instagram has given us that sort of
Oh yeah, I don't think I can either.
yeah. Okay, sorry. Hiba, I hope I've answered your question, Hiba, if that's what you were looking for. Omar, bro, what's up? Do you think two people can be together who don't have any common interests? Do you
Yeah, like
think
I
two
don't
people?
think you don't have to be super similar to the person. Like they say, I don't
Yeah.
know,
If
you need
yeah,
to have, you can
if
have
you are
some
not,
common ground, but you can disagree on things also, because I think like Vinay and I, we were speaking about this, that, like you said, the only constant is change, right? In 10 years down the line, maybe your views on things change.
correct.
So maybe the things that y'all did have in common, they just end up changing. And that's okay. That's not like, it just depends on your communication with that person and how much you're willing to put up with. Like, how much do you really care about that person and like that person beyond certain things? Like, I don't think you need to necessarily have, y'all need to be oh so similar
Yeah, you're right.
with your
You don't be
interests or whatever it might be.
but there has to be some sort of similarity for you to actually communicate on interests that happen to be
Yeah,
same.
you can have some common interests, but you don't have to
Yeah,
be like the exact same person.
correct. Yeah, you're right where that is concerned.
Like
Ruth, I
there are
don't know.
certain things that, you can put up with. Like, say, even for me with my friendships, I do have certain friends who are introverts and it works out really well. I do have certain friends who are extroverts and it works out really well. But there needs to also be a balance with me. Like I know that I do have certain friends who are just like so extroverted and they just want to go out every single day and go out to a club and socialize with so many people, and I'm like, I just cannot do that. Like I need my space after some time and I need to recharge and things like that. So it doesn't, like I can then end up, I guess, being an acquaintance with that person.
Seem to have
Like,
a lot of questions.
or do
As a
we?
guy, I'm assuming, Karma, as a guy, I'm opening up to someone emotionally. I expect it to be respected.
And that's very fair. Of course you should be. If supposing someone's demeaning you for your emotions, then dude, you should just fucking drop it. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
No.
think
If
yeah,
women are
great.
allowed to be emotional, so are men. I mean, y'all are still human beings at the end of the day. I know growing up, that's all we are taught, and even men growing up, like they say that toxic masculinity. It's not fair that, people don't allow y'all to have emotions and feel bad about things. But after all, even y'all are human. If someone does something really shitty to you, you're obviously going to feel bad about it.
Exactly. I think the only drawback when men are concerned, not everyone really opens up eventually to people. So if I have had a romantic relationship and initially I was emotionally invested and I opened up entirely and I found that it didn't really work in my favor, the I tend to hold back then. At least that's what we as guys think is that I won't give you that emotional side because the last time I did, it didn't work out in my favor. So I'm going to
Yeah, yeah,
keep it
yeah.
very macho because then I sort of look at society and that's the general notion that I'll try and act a lot more macho and then that's how I can possibly attract and actually keep a girl in the long haul.
But
That's
that's the thing.
again,
In the long run, let's face it, that's not going to work out for you, because if you're in a relationship and you want to be with someone long
true.
term, eventually that's what everyone wants. It's just in your DNA, okay, to want that.
There's some sort of vulnerability that you need to be comfortable with,
Yeah,
irrespective
like it's you're
consensual
going to.
or yeah,
But I
even
agree with
friendship.
having, like, please have respect for yourself, and that's okay to demand. If supposing someone crosses that boundary with you, it's okay to cut them off, because that's not
True,
okay. It's not okay to be shitty to someone. The bar, like I say, cannot be that low for people.
true. What is the point of short fling? Is it necessary for people to have one or is it dependent on them? Short flings are completely dependent on the
It
individual.
depends on you. If that is something you're looking for, go for it, fine. But like I said, have that consent from the other person also. Like, don't hide your intentions and pretend like you're looking for more when you're not.
So be communicate. I
Like,
mean, communicate what you want basically to the girl.
yeah, and if they're not interested in that, then just drop it. Don't try to pursue them and, like, manipulate them and show them, oh, that, don't like chase them and do that full psychological, that, absolute mind fuck that people do,
Yeah, yeah.
which is not fair.
I think men. I think even I've seen women do this, wherein they'll actually mimic you at first, your interest, and then eventually pull out, like you've spoken about, and that
Yeah,
takes
yeah, yeah.
quite a bit of turmoil. It takes a real psychological hit on you.
Can you give
It
me an
depends.
example of that? Because I know, like, you pointed out that I tend to do that or something.
What is that?
Like what you said, like mirroring you with your interests and everything, but
No,
then
not
later
you.
than the.
I'm saying that I've had instances wherein a girl, this is not
Hmm.
me in particular, but from guys, this is what they've told me, wherein a girl would actually mirror exactly what they want, like as we've spoken about, as a guy would, wherein mirror exactly what they want to hear and what they are doing, and then eventually pull off saying that, no, I didn't say something like that, or I think we both are different, or
She's
don't
crazy.
we don't seem to be the same. But then if you go and hit back saying that, hey, like, didn't you just say that we were the same or we had similar interests and we can possibly move forward? They then say that, no, I don't think I said that. I don't remember saying that. Maybe I was. This other thing a question that a guy asked me saying that my girlfriend basically says she was out at the bar and she gets drunk often, but then she has multiple flings while she's drunk, and it happens quite often. But when she comes in, suddenly she'll always tell me that, hey, like, JB, I actually love you itself. Like, you're the one that is meant for me.
You gotta
I
walk
hope you
out.
know.
I'm sorry,
I,
no.
I hope you know exactly. I'm like, bro, that you should not be entertaining anything like this. The
Yeah.
moment she can sniff that you're giving her a chance, she'll keep doing it and she'll keep doing it.
Yeah,
So
like, you
that's
have to understand that you have to establish your boundaries, whatever they might be,
yep,
and the person has to respect that. And I think this is such a basic thing that you don't have to adjust to something like this. It's not something like, oh, like, I don't like when you touch my hair a certain way. It's not one of those stupid things. This is quite a big red flag. And if she's doing something like that, I'm going to assume maybe you've got some self-esteem issues that you probably need to work on, which is okay. Like, we all have them too.
yeah,
But please walk away,
I,
because this is only damaging you further. And then to
exactly.
climb out of this is going to take you that much longer. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Everyone deserves more than that. It's not fair that she's going out and doing these things and then coming back and telling you she's in love with you only. Then why is she doing that? Knowing that it hurts you. You don't hurt things and people that you love.
Correct, correct.
You just don't do it. You just don't do it. No matter what these people try to tell you. And another thing to ask yourself is, would she be okay with you doing this? Is she
Correct.
someone who's looking maybe for an open relationship or something. Maybe that's a conversation you need to have with her then. And if she's not, then that's not fair, right? That just goes to show that she's just taking advantage of you. You're just like, her emotional support, whatever you want to call, like a side piece, but she wants to go out and have her own fun and live her best life, which is not fair to you.
True. I mean, those that are going to be asking questions, you can answer. I think we'll be wrapping up in about 10 minutes, I think. So we've already actually gone about an hour. The other question that was posed was, as a guy, I seem to be a very nice guy. I mean, I seem to have everything going for me in terms of finances, in terms of my personality. But for some reason, she does not like me. This is again another question posed. So I'm a nice guy basically. But is it actually true? Like women are after more than the nice guy? Because I seem to be having it all going for me. But there's one aspect like I don't understand. I'm doing everything that is expected of me as a guy to attract her, or at least what I've been reading on the social media feeds. But for some reason, I'm not able to attract her.
See, attraction is also so subjective. Why can't you respect the fact that she's not attracted to you and move on? You're not going to be attracted to everybody, no matter if they tick all your boxes, right? Like, there's something
True.
just so, I don't know, some sort of chemistry that kicks in, which I don't know if scientists have also tried to figure, like, managed to figure out. There are 7 billion people on this planet. You're not going to be attracted to everyone, and you don't owe it to everyone. Also, niceness is something that everybody needs to have. It's something so basic. That should not be your main redeeming quality. That, oh, but I'm nice compared to everyone else out there. What else do you have going for you? Of course, we're going to look at stuff like that, right? Like niceness is the bare minimum that everyone expects. It's a different thing that because, people are normalizing toxic behaviors that, the bar has gone so low for everyone. And of course, they're hurting and no one just wants to openly say it, that I don't want to tolerate this nonsense. But
do you feel maybe in things like this wherein we tend to give, like once you're emotionally invested in a relationship of this sort or of this magnitude, our ego and our self-esteem also kicks in. Like a guy or a girl, for that matter of fact, if they are in a toxic relationship, for them to actually move out of it, it depends solely on their options. So if they seem to have options available to them, then they might even think of it. If they don't, then they tend to stick to where they are. And I think that's one of the deciding factors as to what I have observed from my conversations with both the sexes.
I'd say it's one of the deciding factors, maybe. I don't want to say that it doesn't exist at all. Of course, like what happens is when you're in a toxic relationship, from what even I have seen with people, is that they make you feel like you're not going to get any better than me. And if they don't have any options to prove them wrong, then you start thinking that, oh shit, maybe they do have a point. But then also understand that it's not you, it's them. They're just trying to hurt you and hurt your self-esteem to keep you around. And what I don't know if this is a very subconscious thing, but when you do have a low self-esteem, you just don't attract people around you. Your body language changes, the way you look at yourself, the way you maintain yourself. Because a lot of the times, and if you notice when people are going through a bad phase, they don't take care of themselves anymore. It's a very common trend with people who are depressed and, who have mental health issues and they're not like coping well. They just don't handle themselves well. So, your self-esteem is taking a hit. And are they isolating you from people also? Are they isolating you from your friends? Stuff like that. If they're talking to you badly, like, listen, sometimes you have to accept it for what it is. No matter what somebody tries to tell you and they make shitty justifications for it. If someone is being toxic and the signs are like so obvious, come on. Just take it. And it is hard to walk away. It is really hard to walk away, of course. Sorry. But you need to just do it for yourself. Like, do yourself a favor, because in the long run, it'll help you. Because whether you like it or not, these things also start affecting other things in your life as well. It'll affect your work, your friendships, your hobbies, your interests, everything. Everything starts taking a hit. You notice yourself losing interest in a lot of things. You don't have the will to wake up anymore.
True.
Because imagine bearing your heart out to someone and then just walking all over it, making you feel like a piece of shit every single day.
I think most of us have undergone some sort of toxic relationship or a toxic encounter with a friend at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
And as much as it's bad for us, it's also sometimes, depending on the individual, has proven good to us because these are life-changing moments, and you begin to understand yourself a lot more better, and you begin to have some sort of an endurance to people in the manner in which they function, because people are unique and everyone has their own way of actually relating to other people. So I think everyone's unique where that is concerned. But yeah, you're right. It's important for us to know where the relationship actually lies. I think we'll entertain this last question from Parma. I have two more, sorry.
Okay.
Guys,
Yeah. Go ahead.
why is one still judged when things get toxic for you and you decide to move on? That's his
You
word.
mean,
That's it.
say, like if a guy is in a toxic relationship and he chooses to walk away, but he gets shit for it, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he meant.
Sorry, 1 second.
Why is one still judged when things get toxic for you and you decide to move on? Do you actually mean that it's going to help me, Param, if you can just. No, I don't think your entire thing can come up, your question. If you can just type the next half of it, that would be great. Okay, I think that's what you meant. Why are you still judged? Let me just put the question again. Why are you still judged when things get toxic for you and you decide to move on even after trying to make things work? I'm assuming. I think at the end of the day, whatever you do, you will have people's opinions in place in terms of people will judge you irrespective. So it depends entirely on you as an individual. You know what the relationship did hold for you in terms of was it beneficial for you, the sort of experiences that you did encounter with this particular individual, and it's something that you should not be bothered too much about other people's opinions. It's something that is for you, between you and your partner. If you found it to be toxic at that point in time, then just walk away. People will always have an opinion, and it is as much as you respect their opinion, it comes down to you wherein do you actually want to pursue it or not. If not, then you have a reason, and a solid reason at that. So that would be my entire perspective on this. Because people won't be living your life at the end of the day. People will always have an opinion. You're living your life, and you'll know how to take it forward. So I'm just going to do a couple more. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, what did I miss?
I just replied to Parma's question. I think I
Okay.
hope I answered it appropriately. I just told him basically, I'll actually give you insight on that.
Okay.
So check this next question. How much honesty do you think is needed in a relationship? If I would, do you want to speak about it?
Yeah, well, in any relationship, like a friendship or like a relationship, you know, or a romantic relationship, or even with your family or whatever, you need to be like 100% honest, right? Because, well, imagine if they're not being 100% honest, you're not going to operate, you know, at a level that's fully true to yourself. You're also going to start hiding things, and you're going to be like, dicing your words, and you're not, then you start feeling uncomfortable too, telling them things, which
True.
I don't think is a good way to live in the long run. Because, and also listen, then you're always suspecting them, which is another thing that happens. You're always doubting their intentions. Oh, what are they doing? I don't know, this, that. And it gets very controlling. And then you're constantly like subconsciously thinking about this, and it starts affecting you. And you start developing toxic behaviors and doing things that are not true to you. Maybe you would not have been this person if, this person is like, what would you call it? Bringing out this sort of a character in you.
True. You basically, how do you say? You feel like they're playing you, although they are not, because you yourself are not being entirely honest with them.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're not being honest, then even you start having doubts, which is something that you'll notice with a lot of people who
True.
tend to lie and are dishonest in a relationship. They start
True.
having doubts.
Yep, you're right.
So I would just say that you should, even in a friendship, like if you're lying to your friend and, after a point, like it just gets old and it gets tiring because life is such that you just don't have time for these things after a point. These
True.
mind games and this constant back and forth fighting, it gets old because you have work, you have problems at work, real life problems, and you don't have time for these things.
True. I think we've pretty much touched on almost everything that we were supposed to speak about, from friendship, attraction, communication to questions. If there are, I don't think there are any more questions, but in case you have any more questions, you can feel free to DM either of us. I hope this session was some sort of an insight to you. This session again was conducted based on the fact that we often are not able to communicate to the opposite sex in terms of, as a guy, in terms of what they are actually thinking. We read between the lines from our own perspective. Now that we have Lisa in front of us, and she's given her perspective on the feminine, and I hope I've touched our perspective from the masculine point of things in terms of a lady. I hope this session was of some insight to you, and I plan on doing a couple more sessions where these stick around and do give in your feedback where this is concerned. We will definitely look at improving in whatever way we possibly can. Is there anything else that you want to post? Okay, I've got Dwayne who's asked me, can either of you marry me? Bro, you know, it's a very, I don't know how to answer this question. I'll slide into your DM and I'll give you an answer to that. This answer cannot be revealed on live chat. It'll be
Not on live, yeah. This is such a private thing.
Okay. So we are going to sign off for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope we were of some benefit to you. We shall see you guys soon. Take care. Enjoy your evening.
Bye.
Bye bye.